At 𝒻𝒂 Palangka Raya, there was a cheerful girl named 𝒂𝓉. She was known for being humorous, friendly, and easy to get along with. She also had a boyfriend who was in the same class. Every day felt bright and joyful for 𝒂𝓉, especially when she spent time with him. However, one day felt different. The sky was cloudy, and the classroom atmosphere was strange. 𝒂𝓉 started to feel uneasy and jealous when she noticed her boyfriend glancing at Dina, a polite and kind classmate. From that moment, the conflict began to grow. 𝒂𝓉's mind began to fill with jealousy and suspicion. Maybe he likes Dina now, she thought, her heart heavy like clouds ready to rain. Without realizing it, her emotions started to control her. When Dina walked to the canteen, 𝒂𝓉 shouted in front of everyone, "Your shoes are so ugly. Why do you still wear them?" Her words were sharp like a knife. Dina's face turned pale, and her eyes filled with tears. She felt everyone staring at her, hundreds of eyes judging her. Embarrassed and hurt, Dina ran to the restroom to hide from everyone. Still angry, 𝒂𝓉 couldn't stop thinking about Dina. Not long after, she saw Dina walking to the canteen again. Her gaze immediately fell on Dina's shoes, and her emotions exploded again. 𝒂𝓉 shouted, "Your shoes are ugly, and you still wear them." The whole class fell silent. Dina's face turned white. Her eyes welled up with tears. Everyone stared at her. Dina ran to the restroom again, trying to hold back her tears. But 𝒂𝓉 didn't stop there. She followed Dina and banged on the restroom door, shouting, "Hey Dina, come out now. Don't be such a coward. You just love stealing someone's boyfriend." The shouting could be heard from outside. Many students came, curious about what was happening. One of Dina's friends called Siska and Annie, 𝒂𝓉's two best friends. When they arrived, Siska and Annie immediately tried to calm things down. "Calm down, 𝒂𝓉. What's really going on?" Siska asked softly. Finally, 𝒂𝓉 told them everything, her jealousy, her anger, and her regret. Siska and Annie listened without judging her and then gave her advice. "You need to learn to be patient," said Annie. "Don't let your emotions control your mind. Sometimes what we see isn't always the truth." However, the incident had already become a big deal, and someone had reported it to the guidance counselor. The counselor came and took 𝒂𝓉 and Dina to the counseling room. The room was silent. 𝒂𝓉 looked down while Dina kept wiping her tears. The counselor looked at them one by one. "𝒂𝓉, what you did is considered bullying," she said calmly but firmly. "You need to learn to control your emotions. You can't just say hurtful things in front of others." 𝒂𝓉 lowered her head even more. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to. I was just carried away by my emotions." The counselor then turned to Dina. "Dina, you also need to be brave enough to speak up if someone makes you uncomfortable. Don't keep it to yourself, okay?" Dina nodded quietly. After a long talk, the counselor made a decision. "𝒂𝓉, since your actions are considered a serious violation, you'll receive a warning letter 1, SP1. This isn't a punishment, but a lesson. If this happens again, the consequences will be more serious." Hearing that, 𝒂𝓉's eyes filled with tears. She knew she was deeply wrong. "I accept it, ma'am. I promise I'll never do it again." The counselor then asked them to talk and make peace. With a trembling voice, 𝒂𝓉 looked at Dina and said, "I'm sorry, Dina. I was wrong to accuse you and say hurtful things. I really regret it." Dina gave a small smile. "I forgive you, 𝒂𝓉. I just want things to go back to how they were." The counselor smiled warmly at them. "Remember, girls, problems can be solved peacefully, not with anger or hurting others," she said gently. Since that day, 𝒂𝓉 learned to be more patient and not easily controlled by emotions. She also realized that jealousy can make someone lose their sense of reason if not controlled. That evening, the sky was bright again, as if reflecting Ara's heart, which had finally found peace and a valuable lesson from her mistake.